I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to yet another episode of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd. Oh, I cannot believe I was saying today to someone that I think March and May have gotten the weather mixed up because today it was just a little too cool for me this morning when I was out there. But you know what? At the root of it all, I'm grateful to be here. So I'm not complaining, just making a joke, just making it light. Well, I'm not complaining at all. I'm just happy to be here with you, family. You know what I like to do. You know I like our check-in. Raphael is right on point. Hey there, Raphael. For all of our family members who are on our socials, I'm inviting you and I'm asking you to send us a hello to let us know that you're out there and ready to join the conversation. And to our family members who are listening, we know that you are there and we appreciate the love that we feel coming from you. And you know what I'm about to say. To each of our family members whose light is just a little dim today, anybody feeling just a little heavy, just know that I am sending you extra love and hugs. You know I am. I'm sending it to each and every one of you. Raphael, I hope you're having a good day. He's reaching out to us on Facebook. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining us. So, family, I know that we have a 2-hour show, but the time goes by so quickly, and you know it does. So I want to begin introducing tonight's guest to you. Tonight's guest is a licensed psychologist and a board-certified African-centered Black psychologist. She earned her BA in psychology from Lincoln University in Pennsylvania and her MA and PhD in clinical psychology from the University of Cincinnati. In her practice, she focuses on wellness instead of illness, and she values each individual's specific cultural and ethnic background. And she incorporates this information into her therapy and consulting. She is a former university professor and administrator, and she's worked in the mental health field for well over 50 years. Family, I invite you to meet Dr. AYO Maria Casey Gooden. Hello, Dr. Gooden.
Hotep, peace and blessings. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. It's an honor to be here with you.
It is truly my pleasure. It is really, I was saying, well, family, I should share with you. I was saying to Dr. Gooden offline that I'm really excited to have this conversation with her and to welcome her to the show and to share her with you and to share her knowledge with you all. I was reading about Dr. Gooden and I was just so excited to hear whatever she has to say. Let me say that. So I'm excited for whatever you have to share with us tonight. And I thought it especially and particularly a good idea to have you come talk with us about love, life, relationships, and everything in between as we talk about celebrating and not celebrating, but recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month. I thought it would be just a great idea I was saying to Dr. Gooden that, well, I was sharing my own personal thoughts. Y'all don't want to hear what I thought. Y'all don't want to hear what I think, but I was sharing it with Dr. Gooden. So Dr. Gooden, I'm going to tell y'all something. Dr. Gooden said to me, she shared with me her age. Now, I'm not going to say it, but what I am going to say to you is she is the definition of black, not cracking. Let me just say that, okay? Let me just say that to you. This beautiful woman that we are looking at. But you are beyond welcome, beyond welcome. I want to take another moment to go back to our socials to recognize our family members that are checking in. Tequila Rice says, good evening. She writes, good evening to us. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're so happy to have you all with us. So, Dr. Gooden, okay, first and foremost, where were you born and raised?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, but I was actually raised in Lorain, Ohio, near Cleveland. Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I was wondering, because I was reading your degrees in clinical psychology, from Cincinnati. So I was wondering if there was some connection, if you had lived close. So that makes, okay.
Well, I lived there during my graduate studies, of course. But
Exactly.
yeah, I've traveled around a little bit.
Well, that's a good thing though, right? That helps.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I believe it does. So what, one thing I should make our family members aware of. When I was reading about Dr. Gooden, her first name, Ayo, means joy in the West African Yoruba language.
Yes.
I don't think there was a better message sent from your parents or from God to the world, quite honestly, especially in the field in which you work, helping us to achieve a place of joy. I was reading the reviews as well. There were several people who wrote a ton of reviews about you, about how you've helped them throughout their journeys. I think that's an amazing thing. So I have a ton of questions. Craig Williams is joining us on our socials. Craig, hi there. He writes, good evening, everyone. I try to make sure everyone who joins us on our socials, I make sure that we read their comments aloud, because I want our family members to be involved and to let them know that we know that they're there. So pardon me, Dr. Gooden. But so you said that, I read that you have worked in the mental health field for over 50 years.
Yes. Yes, it's been a journey. I've done a lot of things during that time. So I've worked in everything from university settings as a professor, as an administrator. I was actually the university psychologist at Cheney, and where I was also a professor. I was a professor at the University of Louisville, Lincoln University. I have done work in the area of organizational industrial psychology for the city of Cincinnati, developing civil service exams. I've worked as a clinical supervisor for students from places like PCOM and Drexel who are working on their master's degrees. And I had to make sure they were on point. I've done a lot of things in these years that I've been on this planet.
That is really interesting to me. So the first question I have about what you do is, what exactly does your title mean? I want to make sure what it means to be a psychologist and a board certified African-centered Black psychologist. Would you mind explaining that to me,
Certainly.
please?
To become a psychologist, you have to go to school, undergraduate, for 4 to 5 years, depending upon your particular program. And after you graduate with your bachelor's degree, you go on to get either a master's degree, or in some programs, you don't get a master's, you just go straight to the PhD. I did both. I earned my master's degree in clinical psychology, and then I earned my PhD in clinical psychology. Once you get your PhD, back when I first began, it used to be that you could be considered a psychologist with a bachelor's degree. And then they increased the requirements to a master's degree, then to a PhD, and then to getting licensed. So you have to take an exam. You have to take a national exam and pass it. And then you have to take a state exam and pass that. So I've done all of those things. I actually did that in Kentucky, which is where I practiced before I came back to Pennsylvania. And then here in Pennsylvania. To become a board certified African-centered Black psychologist, you have to have either one, passed the licensing or board certification through the Association of Black Psychologists, which, because I've been working in the field so long, I was able to actually be grandfathered in. I've been working in the field so long that, and teaching in it, writing a book in it, doing things that qualify me as being certified to incorporate an African concept, African spiritualist kinds of perspectives in therapy, which is very different from traditional therapy.
Can you talk about some of the ways in which it is different? Can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. From a Black or African perspective, we focus on your spiritual development. That means who you are, being at one with yourself, with the Creator, and with all those around you. We don't focus nor support the concept of being an individual, but rather an individual who has a responsibility to the people around you. And that is the concept of building a community, a family, and seeing your responsibility. And especially for Black people, something that we have been torn from is the concept that as Black people, we should be responsible to each other, and we should support each other and take care of each other. And that's a concept that's been missing in the training. We feel that it's better to be, for example, I'm a female, I'm not Black, I'm a psychologist, I'm not a Black psychologist. And that's absolutely unfortunate, to say the least, because just being a psychologist means I don't understand your culture, your ethnic background, and I don't take that into consideration. If I do, I understand things such as how racism has impacted you, how trauma is different. For example, for Black people, when we see the police, we're traumatized. Indeed. Caucasians are feeling, yay, I feel protected. There are cultural differences because of the social dynamic of racism, where Caucasians who believe that they're superior and who believe that Black people are inferior make decisions against us that harms us immediately or that minimizes our humanness. And so from a Black perspective, we focus on the humanness and Ubuntu and other African concepts that unfortunately were not taught in traditional European psychology.
Oh my! You just said a mouthful. One of the questions my next question, you mentioned your book. I definitely want to make sure that Dr. Gooden, you just said so much right there, so much, because, and I'm saying this because I've had these conversations. Yes. I've had several conversations lately about the traditional Black family, about how we've gotten away from the traditional Black family, about what the responsibility of the Black woman and the Black man are to each other, and how we are, how our children are, how and why our children have become so detached from our values, our traditions, our culture. So just everything you just said was everything that I'm having continuing conversations about in the more recent past. But right now, before we get back into that, I want to talk about your book. Your book is titled "A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle." Yes, yes. Finding your ideal love partner, making love last, and ending unhealthy relationships, a
Yes.
multiracial examination of love relationships. I love that. Can you
Thank you.
please tell us just talk to us about your book?
Absolutely. First of all, a single bracelet does not jingle is an African proverb. And I selected that because it seemed to signify to me that you can be beautiful individually, like
Mhm.
a single bracelet. But when you get together with another beautiful person, and I'm talking about spiritually beautiful, but they can also be physically beautiful and et cetera, you make music. It's
Mm.
it's like James Ingram and Patty Austin said, "How do you keep the music playing?" And those are powerful words because they refer to being strong individually, recognizing your partner, respecting your partner, loving your partner, and growing together. And so this book provides you with, if you will, a roadmap on
Mm.
how to do that. But it's not just for adults, it's actually for young people, people who, anybody who can read at an eighth grade level. So we're talking about middle school, we're even talking about elementary students. This book is appropriate because one of the things we find is that we don't have a roadmap. And
Mm.
so people make mistakes. Now, I don't want to suggest at all that I didn't make mistakes. I
Mhm.
certainly did. That's what inspired this book was the fact that I made mistakes. And when I married the love of my life, um, who I met at Lincoln,
Oh.
unfortunately, the marriage didn't last but a few months.
Okay.
We divorced and we went we didn't go our separate ways. We stayed together, but he didn't want to be married and I did. And because he loved me, he married me.
Oh,
But when I
wow.
saw he was unhappy, I said, well, let's get divorced. And so we did, but I didn't like just living with him. So we separated. And a few years later, we remarried.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so we got married. Oh, that's not the end of the story.
Oh,
No,
oh,
no, no, no.
no. Okay.
He still wasn't, happy with being married. He felt that it was restrictive, like many men feel
Mhm.
being married is restrictive.
Mhm.
So I divorced him again. After divorcing him the second time, as it turned out, I married someone else and he married someone else.
Oh.
Not the end of the story.
Oh.
We divorced them and we remarried, and we've been together for almost 30 years now. After the first 20 some years or
What?
whatever being married. So I've been married to this man 3 times, and we are going to forever be together now. He has finally decided that I'm the best thing he could ever find. And I always knew he was the best thing for me.
Wow. That
Yes.
talk about a journey, a personal journey though.
Absolutely. And it tells you that sometimes you have to end a relationship for your partner to see
Mhm.
what they want. And rather than clinging to someone and panicking and crying or being mean towards that person,
Right.
sometimes you know what they say, you have to let the butterfly go. If it comes back to you, you were meant to blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Well, that's how it was for us. And I am totally blessed to have him in my life. And he'll have to speak for himself, but he's with me. So I guess that's a statement in and of itself.
That is an amazing story, a statement. I mean, I want to hear more about this journey that the two of you had. Family, if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. That's WURDradio.com. Listen, join the conversation. You know I'm inviting you to do so. You can do so by either reaching out to us on Facebook, or you can call us at 215-634 8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-09 I want to make you aware that the phone lines are open, but we are going to take just a short break, but we will be right back. I promise you that.
Indians TV, no purchase required, and other prizes. There will be a plethora of community organizations giving out information for you. Stop by Sayer Health Center at 227 South 59th Street on Saturday, May 6, 2023 from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
On May 16, Election Day, Philadelphia voters have an important ballot question to answer. Should the Home Rule Charter be amended to establish a Chief Public Safety Director? City Council believes the answer is yes. We've seen over 1,000 homicides and shootings. Philadelphia needs a Chief Public Safety Director to coordinate violence prevention among city agencies. Washington, Los Angeles, Trenton, and other cities have public safety directors. On Tuesday, May 16th, vote yes on the ballot question to create a Chief Public Safety Director.
Tune in this Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Islam Today show with a perspective on moral guidance and Islamic principles and values.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90 or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Family, I invite you to join us during Philly Tech Week, Tuesday, May 9th at 6 p.m. at the University City Science Center for a WURD mayoral forum focused on inclusion, innovation, and Philadelphia's future. At this event, a panel of WURD hosts will question the mayoral candidates on their plans to include Black Philadelphians in the city's investments in technological growth. Register now at wordradio.com/Tech Week. University City Science Center is located at 3675 Market Street. WURD is proud to partner with University City Science Center as well as Technically Philly and Philly Tech Week to present this forum, which is part of Every Voice, Every Vote. So please join us. If you've just tuned in, we are joined tonight by Dr. AYO GOODEN, who shared one of the most incredible love stories I've ever heard. I want to take a moment to go to our socials. Our family members on our socials are joining us, and Dr. Gooden, they agree with me, okay? Because Craig Williams writes, incredible love journey, Dr. Gooden. Tequila writes, that was totally amazing and inspiring. Doreen writes, greetings, my friend. But I believe we are all inspired by your love story and anxious to hear more. I know I am. Okay. I know I am. But 3 times the two of you married. So you said you met at Lincoln University. Did I remember that correctly?
That is correct.
Were you studying together? Were you studying them with the same?
I was actually his tutor. Well, after we met, my husband is a chemist. I could never tutor him in chemistry, but I did tutor him in psychology. He didn't have an aptitude for psychology, and I certainly had no aptitude for chemistry. But I helped him with psychology. But that's not how we met.
Okay.
I actually was looking for a husband. And I went to an international party because I said, international men are usually excellent men because they have some very clear values. And I said, let me see who's there. And I saw him there. I didn't go up and meet him, but I did my investigations, found out who he was, and made it a point to get to meet him. And so we actually met at a school dance where one of my friends helped me to meet him. So that's where love started, was right on the dance floor.
You were intentional. So this was you know, I've heard that before, that you need to be intentional. You need to know exactly what you want.
Yes, go after it. Otherwise, it's like anything else. If you don't know what you want, you're going to get something you don't want.
Well, heavens to Murgatroyd, right?
That's why the divorce rates are so high. And actually, it's really bad for Black women. Black women have the lowest marriage rates and the highest divorce rates. So it's a critical issue for Black people. We must be intentional. We must know what we want. We must make a list of who we want. And of course, that means knowing who we are. Because finding your ideal partner is going to be based on who you are, not who I am, because who's right for me is not going to be right for you because we're two different people.
Agreed. Oh my goodness. Okay, Dr. Gooden. So you said, okay, this is what I want. This is what okay, you like took, because you said what you just said. I'm listening to me falling all over myself over this story, this incredible story. Out of everything that I read about you, I didn't read that. So here I am, and
That's
I hear
this special something for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And your listeners only.
Oh my goodness! So when you met him, did you know he was the one? Did you know when you met him, or was this after getting to know him better? Did you?
Well, I have to be honest. He was just fine.
Okay.
He was the most gorgeous man.
I'm not mad.
And I was smitten as soon as I saw him. So I had really poor judgment. Because I wasn't basing it on who he was. I had no clue he was brilliant. And that came after, obviously, I met him. I just knew he was a gorgeous man. And as I got to know him, he was kind, he's gentle, he's soft-spoken, he's shy. And he was somebody who we clicked. And I tend not to be a traditional woman.
Okay.
In that, obviously, I approached him or made sure I found him when we went out to eat. And I tell people all the time, these traditional rules that people follow are part of the reason men don't want women. Women believe that the man should pay for everything and that, we got to go to the most expensive restaurants. And then I've got to make sure I get the most expensive thing on the menu. And he's got to buy me bling, bling. And that is usury. Women need to pick a man who has the right characteristics, the things that are going to make a relationship last. And unfortunately, we're not being taught that. We used to know back when we were in Africa because we had the rites of passage. But after being kidnapped and forced into, jumping a broom at the best, we weren't allowed to have clear goals and to pick someone who was right for us. And so I don't blame us, but it's our responsibility to do something about it. And as I, in my practice, see so many people who are divorced, separated, can't find somebody, having fights in their relationships and all sorts of other problems, I realize that my gift has to be learning from my own mistakes and sharing with others what can help you to pick the right person or to heal in a relationship or to know when to get out. Because that's just as important. If you make a mistake, you need to know how to get out of it. Sometimes with your life, because some people don't.
Yeah, that's Dr. Gooden. So you were talking about how intentional you were. Would your suggestion be for us women to make a list, to write down what we're looking for in a man
Absolutely, but not just for
Okay.
women. Men need to do it too. You see,
Okay.
we're complements, men and women. We're not opposites. We need each other. There is no way we can continue the Black race without Black men and Black men without Black women. We
Agreed.
need each other. So if we're going to be successful, we each need to know, first of all, who we are. And that means make an assessment of who you are and what you need to change about yourself. Because none of us come here perfect in terms of knowing how to love someone else, knowing how to be open, knowing how to cooperate, and a bunch of other things, which I talk about in my book. So we have to start off with a list about who we are, because I had to pick someone who fit with who I am, because if you don't fit with me, we don't need to be together. Many times what people do is they try to force their partner to fit. And that's a fatal mistake. He'll change if he loves me. She'll stop doing that, or she'll do this once we get married. If I have his baby, then no. That's not how it works. That's why the divorce rate is so high and why people are arguing and at each other's throats, because they didn't have a plan. And if you don't have a plan to succeed, then you have a plan to fail.
So the first question I have, would you say the things that you just mentioned, the few things that you just mentioned, would you say they are more typical of a younger person, or would you say that that's across the board? Because some of those things, like for me, I'm 50. How old am I? 53. I'm 53.
Okay.
And some of those things, like, they wouldn't apply to me, so I'm wondering if you're saying, like, I will say what my mistake was. My mistake was seeing a relationship for what I wanted it to be and not for what it actually was. So that was a mistake that I made. While I tell my business, I'm going to take one moment to recognize our family members who are joining the conversations via our socials. And I do not want you to feel left out. Nasir Butler, good evening. Good evening. He says good evening to you as well, Dr. Gooden.
Good evening.
Ms. Viola, hello. So happy to have you with us. Craig Williams asks, what is an international man? And we're going to go back to that. Ms. Viola writes that 44 years married to Frank Ramsey Gray. Well, congrats to you, Mrs. Viola. I love that. And he writes, my first date with my wife of 41 years was a hot dog and a soda. That's but Tequila writes, you're right. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan. While I'm doing this, I want to recognize our other family members. I was so caught up. I believe we have a family member on the phone. Are you there? Are you still there?
Let me say good evening, my love. Yes,
hello. I'm terribly sorry because I was so busy talking. I said, oh my goodness, we have a caller. So thank you for being patient with me.
Has been shared in such a wonderful light. Dr. Gooden,
yes.
Before I ask this question, I just want to that sheds the light on my sister who is hosting and have you as a guest, just to say thank you to her. You know, yesterday I had the opportunity to speak with Diana, the opportunity to speak with Will Dowling. You know, these folks who have instilled in us this love that is so necessary and just a part of who we are. And again, I just want to pat my fist on the back because we are falling short when it comes to us expressing ourselves in a living way. And the issue that folks may not understand, that the essence of who we are has always been about love. Black folks are here and still exist because of love, because we have been so challenged with so many things around hate that it could only be love that has kept us together. And I just want to ask this one question to you. We're speaking about relationships, but I want to say to you, you spoke about 50, 60 years of servicing. And I just want folks to know I'm moving on to 50 years of servicing the community. And one of the things that I hear and what you're saying, I read some of your stuff, that our essence is love. The things that have been keeping our community together, how we've been able to grow and move forward, is just a phenomenal love and the things that we do together and for one another. And I think the issue right now is they are trying to dismantle that. That's why we are looking at the many issues that we are looking at. So can you respond to that? And thank you for what you do and all that you do. And my love, always thank you for allowing me to share.
Tyrone, thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. I totally agree. Love is the answer. There's no doubt about it. I never gave up on love, and nor should anyone. But the first step, as the ancient Commetans or Egyptians said, is to know thyself. Because once you know yourself and you know who you are, then you're going to be able to love yourself. Unfortunately, what I see in my practice and what other people see is that Black people in particular, because of the traumas that we've experienced, tend to not love ourselves, to not appreciate who we are, because for part of the reason, we haven't been taught who we are, truly taught. We've been taught a lot of lies about who we are, where we came from. And as a result, we reject who we are. And we would rather be anybody else other than who we are, African or Black people. And I love using the term Black because you could be Caucasian and African if that's where you're born. But when you're Black, it doesn't matter where you're born, you're Black. And so I identify as being Black, and I know not everybody agrees with that, and that's okay too. But when you talk about love, it has to start within. You have to love being Black. You have to support being Black. That means I spend my money with Blacks. It means I partner with Blacks. It means I have Black babies that I take care of and I help to grow into strong, beautiful, wonderful, brilliant adults. And we have to help each other. That's part of the love. And you're right. The things that we've encountered as Black people would have wiped out any other group of people. But we refused to give in. We refused to simply die and go away. We're the strongest people on the planet in terms of looking at what we've had to overcome. But we've got a lot more to overcome. And part of that is we must start reading We must read things that people don't want us to read. And when they say you can't teach this in the schools, teach it at home. And if you don't know what to teach, ask me. Ask other people who know what are the things we should be teaching. In fact, I taught my oldest son was homeschooled. He has his degree now in physics. And he's written a book called Check This Out, to inspire young people to get into the sciences, because we realize that the educational system as it exists today is not designed to inspire Black children to go on and do great things. And so we have to teach our children that, no, we did not first come here as enslaved people, but that's what they tell us. The Olmecs are a group of Black people who built the pyramids in North, South, and Central America. I've climbed the pyramids in Mexico. I've climbed the pyramids in Belize. And these are people with Black skin, full lips, broad noses, and tightly curled hair that you won't hear about in your history class or your geography class, et cetera, et cetera. And that is why we must teach our own people and share it with others, because they don't know either. It's the people at the top who know and who want to maintain a system where we don't like who we are. And so we beat each other up emotionally, physically, and literally. We beat each other up. But love is the answer. You're absolutely right. And you asked me one more thing and then I'll stop. You asked me about the international brothers. I'm guessing you mean like the passport brothers? Is that what the international brother?
Well, actually, the question, because I believe he was responding to your comment when you were saying that you were being intentional. You wanted an international man. So he was asking, what exactly is an international man?
Okay. In my case, my husband, his background is he's Jamaican American. Now, I didn't know that when I saw him. I just thought he was fine. He was at the international party. Okay. And so my thing is this. There are people who do seek out people from other countries, but you have to look at the intent. What is the purpose? And there is a group of brothers and sisters too. And when we talk about some of the warring, the dismantling of Black relationships, and who benefits from that? Well, the people who benefit from that are the people who oppress us. They don't want to see us happy together and partnered, because when you have a happy family, you build a happy neighborhood, and that neighborhood builds a happy community. And right now, Black people don't have communities. We don't own anything. We don't control anything. We're controlled by the very people who tell us who we're not and who won't tell us who we are.
Oh, agreed. On that note, family, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to go back to the phones, but right now we're going to take a short break. So stay with us.
Jeff Brown, as you know by now, is a grocer who used his ShopRite supermarkets to address food deserts. His stores now feed about a quarter of all Philadelphians. Jeff's solution became a national model for combating a food crisis and poverty. For it, Jeff was honored at the State of the Union address. He's employed 2,300 union workers who get childcare, retirement, and healthcare benefits. He's the only candidate who has worked with a large union workforce. City workers who pick up the trash, SEPTA workers, food workers, Teamsters, and more have all endorsed Jeff Brown for mayor for his management skills. Now the politicians, the same ones who denied services to our communities, are attacking Jeff. They don't want things to change. It suits their purposes. Together we can fight back. So vote. Vote early. Every voice counts. Jeff Brown is the mayor we need to change things and make our city safe and healthy again.
Paid for by Jeff Brown for mayor.
SEPTA is hiring. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters, like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
I'm Carol Riddick, the host of Love and Life. And guess what, family? I will be live. That's right. I can speak with you about the real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual and committed relationships. Join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness. So join me Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with none other than Dr. AYO GOODEN. And if you've just joined us, you've missed a lot. Okay, we've talked about a lot of things thus far, but we have so much more about which to talk. But right now, what I'd like to do is go to our phone lines because I believe some of our family members have been waiting to talk with us. Are you still there?
Yes, hi, Carol. Hi to you guests too. I want to share right quick, and I just want to say God is love, and we're the children of love, and I learned to respect the power of love because God is love, and He commanded us that He love one another, and love thy neighbor as He love thyself. But what I want to share is what I wrote, and I'm going to read you the way I wrote it. Master told me one day, you don't have to cry alone. So, baby, dry your eyes and hold on and be strong and cheer up. Happy little people, friendly little children, special little people they are. Keep laughing, keep learning, keep jumping and playing and reaching for the stars. And this is the last time you ever have to cry. So you go on and cry and dry the tears from your eyes and keep your head to the sky. And Father replied, I heard your cry. And I'm wise enough to know when someone is yearning for me, I can hear it miles away, come to see victory, and you need devotion. And oh, beautiful, for gracious and spacious sky, morning light. Life has so much to show you. You must be ready for the new because the best is yet to come. And it's all about love. And it's about God's grace that there's a promise of love. And it's about faith and trust that there's a rainbow of love. Rainbows in the sky. And God will never forget His promise unto us. And each time that rainbow appears in the sky, it's telling you that God will never forget His promise. And I had to say that.
Beautiful.
Brad, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you are absolutely right. God is love. Yes, He is. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I believe we have another family member waiting to talk with us. Are you still there?
Yes. Hello, Cal and Dr. Goodman.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes. Blessed are the goodness of this life. And it's not geographic where you come from or where you choose one. And I know you did that. I'm going on 80 years of age.
Ooh, what a blessing.
Thank God for that. And I have not got love, but I've got caring. And that's very important in a relationship. We can use the word love. I know it's a sensitive word, but caring means to sacrifice. It means to be able to communicate and to comfort one another at the crucial part of their life. I will tell you a story what happened, and it didn't affect me. Well, what a beautiful story, and I'll never forget that. I try to model myself after that. This guy, let me say it before I say that. And I hope they heard what Cal read about your life and you and your partner, and y'all went back three times, so we're looking at the 3 times, and it's significant in numbers. And y'all was able to communicate and take inventory and maybe salvage something and bring that relationship back. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, because he got caring in his life. He liked this lady, but see, the chemistry, sometimes it's not personal. The chemistry must be right. She didn't care for him, but he cared for her. And she was with someone else. This guy don't do flirting. He don't do none of that cheating and none of that nonsense like that. I call it nonsense because that's what it is. And when she was at the crucial part of her life, the person that she was with, you know, of course, things happen in those relationships. He always cared for her. And he would always tell the family and all, like the family knew this. Very respectful to who she was with. But he cared for her. And when she got very sick, this guy came into her life when she was in the hospital. He went there, stroked her before the angel of death took her out of this life into the next life. But before she left this world, she told her family, she said, I never knew that this guy cared so much for me because he didn't enjoy all the things, maybe the relationship that she was in, you know, be going out and, you know, doing different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
She told her family, she said, I never knew this guy cared so much for me. And that's so important. You can't see the inner sanction. The word love, the way I see it, and they use that, I don't use that. It must be a verb. It's an action. To be able to come to one another at the crucial part in their life, you know, in this case with the woman, and she was going through mental health problems, and he was able to stroke her before death.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a beautiful story. And so what I'm saying, you have to reevaluate yourself. You have to reevaluate yourself in your person. Communication is the key to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the lower part of your body that brings life into this world. Because when she feels and he feels your energy and forgiveness, you have healing power. Each one of y'all have that healing power. And you can project, you share that with one another. The purpose in relationship, the way I see it, at 80 years of age, if I'm not able to make that person who choose to be with me to go back into a fetus world in comfort in my arms or bring comfort, not sex, and to make you can depend on me. Oh, what a wonderful thing. So I say to all the people that want a relationship, know the Creator. Everything is about creation. Love yourself, as someone said. You're commanded to do that, doctor. And what happened? It is actually a purification in your health. It's the mental health, which they had on their last night talking about that. Then your mental attitude. And then I say to the females and men too, make yourself independent. When you make yourself precious and do not compromise your principle as this life, your life will be much better. So I so call people will reconsider, doctor. You know, isn't it a wonderful thing? When I say this, Ryan always says this, it's not to put men down. Certainly I would not do that or be judgmental of nobody, because you can't judge nobody anyhow. Then you take and look at that female and treat her with the caring. When you embrace her, not sex, doctor, you hear her breathe, to hear her cry. It's not tears of sadness, to know what a wonderful comforter God has given me. The man and the female, it's a wonderful thing. And women in particular, when you make yourself precious, you must make yourself precious. And I say to you, I know sometimes you want to use words that is, because once something comes out of your mouth, to each one of y'all, you can never take that back. But there are some good women in this world, and you can't let one pour judgment in your life, but you can't put up with nonsense looking for you want to get love. Because when someone cares for you, doctor, And Carol mentioned, I've never seen you, man. Carol mentioned that for the age that you are, that's got divine order, and it's a purification. And I'll get off with this, doctor, and you maybe can respond to this. It's very important for that female to cleanse herself, to let her body soak, to meditate. And as she get up in my age and hope older than that, you will see the beauty. It is the beauty from within and glows that glows from out. Because we know the body deteriorates. Let's look at Miss Cicely Tyson and many of them, and our ancestors, a lot of them, because that divine order.
Divine order. Ron, I'm going to have to interrupt you. I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have to do this, but we have to go to a commercial break. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to interject, but I want to make sure that Dr. Gooden receives your question so that it may be answered when we return from the break. Were you asking her a question?
He hung up. I put him on hold and he hung up.
Okay. Thank you so much. So what we'll do right now is we're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to come back and we're going to break all of that down. We're going to talk about all of that. So we'll be right back. Stay with us.
JD's Auto Body and Painting, Philly's premier paint and body shop, provides everything you need for expert auto body repairs. Car accidents are an unexpected occurrence. It's stressful, interrupts your life, and causes unexpected expenses. So let JD's professional staff and expert technicians relieve your stress and get your car back to pre-accident condition fast. Get your free estimates with 10% savings today. Call 215-848-5949. JD's Auto Body and Painting, Wayne Avenue and Washington Lane in Philadelphia, gets the job done right the first time. Expert workmanship, frame service, top-of-the-line painting, detailing, free towing, claims assistance, deductible help, and all work is guaranteed. Find out what it feels like to be a valued customer. Call 215-848-5949. Philly's leader in auto body and painting, JD's Auto. Visit JD'sAutoBodyAndPainting.com. Hey, this is Doug Henderson, and I trust my car repairs to JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Life had a remote control. You could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
WURD Radio is the only African-American owned and operated talk radio station in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and one of only 3 remaining in the country. In the past 20 years, WURD has evolved into a multimedia, multi-platform communications company that reaches deeply into the Black community through radio, events, digital, and social media. It is considered the go-to channel to engage, interact, and connect with Philadelphia's Black community. Our brand is built on the personal legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Dr. Lomax was a brilliant physician who established medical centers in underserved neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia to provide high-quality healthcare to Black and Brown communities for over 30 years. One of his most ambitious acquisitions was when he purchased WURD Radio. He understood the power of ownership and the power of independent media. Through WURD, he wanted to ensure that Philadelphia's Black community had the ability to speak and be heard in their own voice. We are celebrating 20 years of Black excellence. We are celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Family, welcome back to the top of the second hour of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I want to remind you that I am inviting you to join us during Philly Tech Week, Tuesday, May 9th at 6 p.m. at the University City Science Center for a WURD mayoral forum focused on inclusion, innovation, and Philadelphia's future. At this event, a panel of WURD hosts will question the mayoral candidates on their plans to include Black Philadelphians in the city's investments in technological growth. Register now at wordradio.com/Tech Week. University City Science Center is located at 3675 Market Street. WURD is proud to partner with University City Science Center, as well as Technically Philly and Philly Tech Week, to present this forum, which is part of Every Voice, Every Vote. Please join us. If you have just tuned in, and if you've not, I want to remind you that we're talking with Dr. AYO GOODEN. We've been talking about love. We've been talking about life. We've been talking about relationships, all of that good stuff. There's so much about what you've said thus far, Dr. Gooden, that I want to go back into. But the first of which is your relationship, your marriage. Oh my goodness. It sounds like, and I want to address something that, well, one of the things that Ron was talking about when he was talking, our prior caller, for those who are unfamiliar, our caller just before the break. Ron was talking about relationships. He was talking about the man and the woman and communication and recognizing oneself. And as it pertains to your particular marriage, it sounds to me, and my interpretation of what you said is that you two identified when you married the first time. You two identified that, okay, this is the person with whom I want to be. But it sounds like there was some more work that needed to be done individually. That's what it sounds like to me. I commend you both. Not that you even need it, but I commend you both for doing the work, because a lot of us don't get there. A lot of us, we don't recognize that, hey, I need to change some things with me. I need to, look within, see what's going on here, because I know that person is who I want. And so I definitely commend the two of you. And the fact that you said you married 3 times, which is beautiful. No, that's such a beautiful love story, because you two said, we're going to get this right. We are going to get this right. Yes. And you said that you told us that he told you that he said, I'm not happy being, with commitment. I'm not happy being married right now. I commend him for communicating that to you, and for you accepting it. There's so much about communication and relationships that we just take for granted. I know, I was saying to you that I've always seen relationships, well, not always, but I did see relationships for what I wanted them to be and not for what they were. And a good part of that was that I wasn't a good communicator. Not a good communicator at all. And at the core of what you have is communication. Mm-hmm. Communication, yes. You two accepting what the other says, even if you don't like it, because that's important. You won't like everything that your partner says to you. You won't, it won't feel good. It won't always feel good. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a beautiful thing. I want to also take the time to go back to our family members who are joining us on our socials. Lola writes, people need to be a whole person and then come together. Let people have outside hobbies that fulfill them. I'm in full agreement with that. Mm-hmm. Full agreement with that. But Dr. Gooden, it is it's interesting to me that the two of you kept coming back. Did you maintain? Well, actually, you said the two of you married other people as well. So you knew, Dr. Gooden, you married other people and still found each other again.
Well, that wasn't as hard to do, because during our second marriage, that's when we had our son. And so, of course, I stayed in touch with him. And so that was to be expected that we would maintain a relationship because of us sharing a child together. But what I learned was, and I think that this is what I tried to explain in my book, I provide people with worksheets so that they can actually assess their relationships. How do you identify who's right for you? How to decide whether or not you should stay in the relationship or get out, or if there are things you can change so that you can maintain that relationship. And you have to be able to figure that out. But if you're single, part of the challenge is, where do you find someone? Because quite honestly, Black people have not put anything in place prior to what's happened recently. I'm a co-founder of Black Love Partners, which is a matchmaking service that is designed to help educate Blacks on how to be ready for a permanent long-term love relationship. So it's about being in that position of being marriage minded. Now, some people will never get married because, quite honestly, because of some of the challenges with the system and how the system is anti-male in many respects, especially if you're divorced, they're going to try to take everything from the male. But it becomes important that we have a place where we're safe, where we can learn how to do the healing, and where we don't have to be afraid of being vulnerable, opening up, and being able to be transparent about what things we need to work on and being able to work on them. And even in my book, I have a communication sheet, which gives you a guideline on how to enhance your communication skills. We just haven't been taught. And so it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to do something about it.
So I want to go to, I have a question about your practice. Do you just see singles? Do you see couples or singles, individuals or couples? Do you see young adults? Is there an age group or?
Well, prior to COVID, I saw every age from 2 up to 102. But after COVID, I became a telehealth psychologist. So I do everything on video, which means I don't feel it's as appropriate for me to work with children through video, except if I already know the child, then it's okay. But so therefore I work with 18 and over. I do couples, I do individuals. I don't do families because, once again, the children. But I work with, and I used to work with all diagnoses, but because I'm a solo practitioner, I no longer work with severe diagnoses. I only work with people who have trauma, who have anxiety, depression, who want to change their lives, and for the most part are motivated to change. And then I do cognitive behavioral therapy, which basically means I look at your thoughts to see what thoughts are causing the behaviors that need to be changed, and looking at what behaviors you have and figuring out what we need to do differently in order to change those behaviors. So I don't work with drug and alcohol issues, but I work with individuals who are motivated to change and be happy.
Wow. Well, that was the next question, because I was going to tell you that I read, that you use cognitive behavioral therapy. So I was going to ask. So thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. So please tell us more about, was it Black Love Partners?
Yes. Black Love Partners is a tax-exempt organization that I co-founded as I looked at, and I've actually been trying to get something like this for 30, 40 years, because I realized that Black people did not have a way to really meet other Black people who are healthy, not, the sexual encounters and then you're gone, but people who are serious about developing long-term permanent relationships and who are ready to work on themselves. Because, I have people who say, well, yeah, I drink, but as soon as I find the right person, I'm going to quit. It's not going to work, because the right person doesn't want you because you're drinking. You have to clean up your life now. And I know that one of the big issues among Black women who have been traumatized, Black women and Native or Indigenous women have been the largest group of women to be traumatized, usually sexually, physically, etc. And as a result, we engage in some very unhealthy behaviors, including overeating. Now, I understand sometimes women are overweight because of medical conditions, but Black women have to get out there and exercise and eat less. You cannot keep making excuses. I know I do. My husband was cut, as a young man. He was a swimmer and a wrestler.
Oh.
And I was in shape too, still am, quite honestly. But the point is that Black women have to stop making excuses. I know we're depressed. I know we don't feel like it or we're too busy. By the time we get finished working, we get home and we've got children to take care of. But I say, turn your home into your gym. You don't need to go out to exercise. I do 50 push-ups, men's push-ups in the morning before I take my showers. Wow. I do leg exercises while I'm washing dishes. You can find the time to exercise. So we have to stop making excuses. Black men want to be turned on by the way you look, being in shape, being fit. And Black women have to start loving themselves and not feeling that it's not worth it or there's no point. We have to change our own thinking and love ourselves.
That when you say that, it sounds so easy. It sounds so easy when you say we have to love ourselves. Well, I know a lot of people that don't love themselves.
That's right.
And what would you say would be the beginning? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not an accident. The forces that oppress us want us to be oppressed, want us to be unhappy, want us not to be married, want us not to stay married, want us not to build together. Because imagine what would happen. I used to say this to the football players at Lincoln when I worked there. What would happen if every football player on this team was a straight A student? That would be a different kind of football team. You see, if Black people think in terms of what if I was my very best self, not drinking, not using drugs, spiritually balanced, in shape physically, what would be different? For one, you'd be healthier, okay? And when we look at Black people have the highest diabetes, certain kinds of cancers, strokes, high blood pressure. So we die earlier. And in fact, let me brag a second. My husband, who's the chemist, found a plant that treats herpes, shingles, cold sores, and chickenpox all naturally. Because I have people who were thinking about killing themselves when they contracted herpes. Okay.
Wow.
But now there's something out there that really works. It's an antiviral, or as my husband would say, an enzyme inhibitor. It's interesting living with a chemist, trust me.
Is it marketed?
It's out there now. It's called Agrazil. So you can find it online, agrazilworks.com. Send me an email. I'll pass it on to you. I'll tell you so you can tell all your viewers. But it's a natural plant that doesn't harm you, because part of what happens to us as Black people, we're told to take drugs that harm us. So if you take some of those other things that are out there for those medical conditions, you're going to damage your kidneys. You're going to damage your whole health system is damaged by some of those drugs, but they won't tell you that. But if you look it up, you'll see it. We have to educate ourselves and share with each other.
Now, Dr. Gooden, I know some of our family members are going to email me. I know you are. So I'm going to ask this question about Agrazil. You said it's called
AGURZIL, Agrazil with a Z.
Okay.
Works.com.
Now it works to I don't know a lot about it, but it works to minimize outbreaks, or does it work to
it kills the virus. If you have an
wow.
outbreak, it will kill the virus.
Wow.
In 100% of the laboratory tests, it's been effective in killing the
Wow.
virus without damaging your cells, which is the other thing about those other medications. They damage your body. So he looks for natural cures. That's what he does. And the Agrazil is just one. He's working on other things as well, but that's the one that's on the market now.
Oh,
and
my.
part of what we have to do as Black people is we really need to do more research. And unfortunately, we've been taught to trust people who call themselves doctor, whether it's a psychologist, a physician, a teacher, or whatever, instead of checking them out. And we have to know, there's a book called Medical Apartheid, which after you've read that book, or if you read the book by Dr. Umar, Holocaust and the ADHD wars against Black boys, we learned that you can't trust everybody. You need to do your research.
I may have bought that today. I was just in a bookstore.
It's
The
great.
second one, I believe I just bought that today. Before I forget to ask for our family members who are interested, how do they find Black love partners?
You can find Black Love Partners by going into YouTube and typing in Black Love Partners, and you'll see me.
Okay.
You'll know that's it. And certainly, once again, you can also go to YouTube. We're on Discord, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram. So it's Be Love Partners, because we couldn't get the whole word Black on there. Someone else had that, so we had to do Be Love Partners. But it's actually a tax-exempt organization. And in addition to sharing information, we're in the process now of completing an online course where people can actually take a course on relationships so that you can be prepared. You can make donations to us that are tax exempt. And of course, the idea of matchmaking. Who would be right for you based on who you are, not who I think you need, but who you are, and then what characteristics you should be seeking, which is a key piece of not making the kinds of mistakes we've been making, because the research shows that people who get divorced the second time tend to get divorced a third time. And the percentage goes up higher and higher. 60% to 73% will divorce after the third time. And once again, it's sad to say, but Black people have the highest divorce rate, over 30%. We have the lowest marriage rate. Once again, less than about 40% of us do get married, but will divorce. And for Black women have the lowest marriage rate of any ethnic group. So Black women need to stop and ask themselves, why? Why are we not getting married? Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. And one of the big reasons is that Black men don't make the kind of money that Caucasian men or Asian men make. And you need to have money in order to take care of a family. But now, if we come together and Black women understand that the size of his paycheck does not determine the size of his heart, that if we start looking for the characteristics and we share our finances, then we're going to find ourselves happier. Because certainly as you get older, what you'll find is that, usually men retire before the women. And so that means that your income will decrease. So we have to learn that, first of all, coming together means saving. A lot of people don't save. It means planning for retirement. A lot of people don't plan. It also means that I don't need to make more than my husband, and my husband doesn't need to make more than me. It doesn't matter what the percentage of money is from each partner. It's us working together as a team.
So are these tools in your book, Dr. Gooden?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I've been neglecting our socials. I'm going to take a moment to check. Phyllis asks, she writes, sending love. Oh, what's your email address? Oh, okay. Well, Our email address for the show is loveandlife@wordradio.com. And that's for all of our family members who are interested in any of the information that Dr. Gooden is sharing with us, so I can send it to you. Make sure you have it. And how do you join Black Love Partners? Well, Dr. Gooden, I'm glad I asked that. Tequila writes, is there a natural cure for diabetes?
Yes, there is. It's
my
called
goodness.
eating differently.
It's called eating differently. You
Seriously,
know what, Doctor?
seriously, the
Dr. Gooden.
research shows that diabetes isn't inherited. It's the habits that are inherited. I eat like my parents ate. My parents ate like their grandparents, is so and so. But the research is clear that now you're not going to like it. But
I want to interject you for one moment, because I want you to hold on to that. I want you to hold on to that. I want to hear all of that in its entirety without interruption. Family, we're going to take a short break. Okay, but stay with us because we will be right back.
Okay.
For more than a decade, Comcast has been committed to bridging the digital divide in Philadelphia and across the country. From connecting people to the internet to opening doors for the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and storytellers, they are helping to create a future that benefits generations to come. Now, Comcast is expanding their efforts through Project Up, their comprehensive initiative to help build a future of unlimited possibilities. Backed by a $1 billion commitment to reach tens of millions of people over the next decade, Comcast is working to ensure all Philadelphians have the skills, resources, and opportunities they need to participate and excel in an increasingly digital world. This includes partnering with community experts to build a network of digital navigators, trusted individuals who help build awareness around initiatives like the government's Affordable Connectivity Program, and teach critical digital skills to get more people online. Project Up, building a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at comcast.com/Project Up. Through Project Up, Comcast is committing $1 billion to build a future of unlimited possibilities.
On May 16, Election Day, Philadelphia voters have an important ballot question to answer. Should the Home Rule Charter be amended to establish a Chief Public Safety Director? City Council believes the answer is yes. We've seen over 1,000 homicides and shootings. Philadelphia needs a Chief Public Safety Director to coordinate violence prevention among city agencies. Washington, Los Angeles, Trenton, and other cities have public safety directors. On Tuesday, May 16th, vote yes on the ballot question to create a Chief Public Safety Director.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
This is your celebration.
When I joined WURD Radio in 2019, it was under the premise as a fresh face to the organization that I would open the microphones and give the very best of what I had, since I learned it was one of only 3 Black-owned media stations in the country. We are given the voice to do, to speak, to ask questions that wouldn't ordinarily happen in our Black community through other media outlets. I am so grateful to be here. And on this 20th anniversary, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. Thank you more than anyone else. Thank you to my colleagues who've made this a wonderful transition into radio. And thank you to the management and staff there. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders, radio show host for The Source on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 1 to 4 p.m. And I'd like to wish WURD a very happy 20th anniversary.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. You're listening to WURD Radio. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family members. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So, Ms. Rice asked, is there a natural cure for diabetes? And Dr. Gooden was responding just before we went to the break, and I had to interrupt because we had to take that short moment. But please, Dr. Gooden, please do continue.
Well, the research shows, and they studied this in mice, that changing what they ate to an all vegan, what I call live it versus a diet, die versus live term I created. When you changed to a vegan live it, they eliminated their diabetes. And this has been used on human beings. Now, of course, they don't want you to know that because they make so much money off of the medication
they do.
that Black people take. And of course, once again, it contributes to that issue of men not being able to sexually perform. And so once again, that's another angle for keeping Black men depressed, having conflict between Black men and Black women, because, you know, without the ability to engage in sexual intimacy, many Black men are not feeling as though they're being appreciated and respected. And so we need to know that there are things we can do without taking medications. But once again, I'm not a physician, and you would need to check with your medical practitioner and do your own research about it. I am a vegan. I'll say that right away. And quite honestly, I'm healthy and I don't have a problem sharing how old I am, because you can go online and see it too. I'm 71 and I have no medical problems. I do not take any medications. And as I said, I'm able to do, and I'm working up 50 to 60 male push-ups in the morning, and I can do them in less than a minute.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Family members on our socials, Ms. Rowena is joining us. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And she writes, good evening to both you and I, Dr. Gooden. And she writes, she loves the topic and the information this evening. She's finds everything that you're saying very interesting. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. I believe we have one of our family members on the phone. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes. Is this Mrs. Viola?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Mrs. Viola. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Hello to everyone. Everyone out there. I tell you, hello. I'm not a doctor, but I believe in the exact words that she said, that our eating habits are cause of so many people being diabetics because they think that if their grandmother was one, they're going to be one. My great grandmother died from hardening of the arteries at the age of 59. My grandmother lived to be 85. Her only daughter. She watched what she ate. She didn't fry stuff. She'd take that chicken and take paper towels and wrap around it and dry it out. And my great grandmother's sister lived to be 90 because her daughter watched her diet. But she had hardening of the arteries. The hardening of the arteries is high cholesterol. They just give stuff new names. But, but in the meantime, I just had to call when she said that because so many folks think that diabetes run in their family. Cancer didn't run in my family. I didn't get cancer because my mother had it. I got it because I was stressed out at 33 years old when my mother passed away. And, and like I told you before, I'm a 40-year survivor. I took chemotherapy.
Congratulations.
No radiation, and had a baby 2 years later and nursed her. So, I mean, this is a fantastic show because I walked in just when she was telling her little story about how many times she had married the same man. Well, see, if I had to get married again, I'd want to marry my same husband. That's what I was going to do because he knew everything about me and I knew everything about him. But do you know birds mate for life?
Yes, there are birds who mate for life and other animals.
Birds mate for life. And who was it? Barbara Walters had a show on about young girls, being married, falling in love, this, that, and the other. And they couldn't understand how some cultures, raise you to marry someone else's son because they promised it. And the lady said, yeah, but well, why wouldn't you want to love somebody? She said, well, y'all love somebody and get married and you don't stay together. So, I mean, it all added up. But I'm just enjoying this to the utmost. I be listening sometimes, even I don't get on Facebook call, but I do be listening when I'm in my car driving.
Oh, so, Mrs. Viola. Mrs. Viola, thank you. Thank you
so much for being there. I've been a widow since 2010. And, I mean, I guess I'm just a little bit too spoiled or, do what I want to do and go where I want to go. And, I mean, what can I say? But anyway, if Mr. Wright would come along, I might take a look at him.
You might.
But I'm 75, so therefore, I don't know whether there's any time left for me to be hanging on to somebody because you'd have to have
plenty of time.
Yes,
plenty of time. It's time to really enjoy yourself.
I am enjoying myself. I sure am. I'm having a good time traveling. I had 248,000 miles on my car. I go. But I just listen. Love and light. I'm glad you come on early because I'd miss you when you came on at 12 o'clock or, I would miss you. I'd fall asleep so I wouldn't hear you. But this is the time.
Thank you.
I thank WURD for being there and I thank WURD for putting you in this time slot. I really, really do. I thank you. Sarah Lomax Reese, more 20 years anniversary. Just keep on doing what you're doing.
Oh, Miss Viola.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much.
My call. All right, I'm listening.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a hug to my heart. Do you hear me, family? Y'all, listen. I just want to take a moment once again to just express my gratitude for the comment that Ms. Viola just made, but to share with you, just to let you know, when I say to you, I want to bring content that you want. I want you to want to join the conversation. I want you to have an interest and to say, Carol, look, okay, so we should talk about this next, because it is so important to me that we talk. I can't say it enough. I tell you all the time that communication is key. It is key. And here we are talking about communication and relationships. Well, this is a relationship. I love y'all. Y'all know I do because I tell you every single night. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that was that. Thank you. But to go back to Dr. Gooden, I want to make sure you are aware of her book. And I have another question about your book. The title of Dr. Gooden's book is A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle. And you shared with us it's an African proverb. It's from an African proverb. I remember that in reading about the book. I did share that it reads a multiracial examination of love relationships. Can you talk about that a little bit with us, please?
Absolutely. As a psychologist, a Black psychologist, I work with all different ethnic groups. And one of the things that we've been falsely told is that your culture, your race, etc., don't matter, that you can get any therapist and they will be able to help you. That's not true. You need someone who understands the uniqueness of your ethnic background. So for Black people in particular, we need to understand why the marriage rate is so low for Black people in general and for Black women in particular. And so part of what I do in my book is I look at cultural differences and what are some of the issues that different ethnic groups have. Unfortunately, many Black people have been taught that the best people on the planet are Caucasian. And so the goal is to partner with Caucasians. The other thing that we're seeing that is really very destructive for Black people is that now we see commercials and movies, et cetera, where if you see a Black person, they're usually partnered with a non-Black person. And that is destructive because it's not promoting the concept of Black people coming together and building Black families. It is the only way to have a Black family. You have to have a Black man and a Black woman. Now, people are going to tell me, yeah, well, the children can be Black. Let's deal with the reality. most people, because of racism, have been taught that being Black is the bottom, and that next in line would be if you're Indigenous, then Latinx, then Asian, then Caucasians at the top. So what ends up happening is that if you have a child by someone who is not Black, what ends up happening is that people, and it's not always, understand people, I understand there are exceptions to every rule. You end up saying, yeah, I'm not Black, I'm mixed. Yeah, I'm a mulatto. Okay. And here's one that really people need to rethink. I hear a lot of people bragging about their white ancestry. My great grandfather was, Caucasian, was white. Well, we need to understand our history better, because that means when you look at it, and that includes me, my ancestors raped my Black ancestors, my Caucasian ancestors raped my Black ancestors. So who should we be running around bragging about, the rapist or the Black woman who was able to survive the trauma of being raped? Because the history is every Black man, woman, and child during slavery was raped, was beaten, was tortured. And for us not to understand that is not to understand what slavery was about. So when we go around, and I understand, I'm not criticizing you, I understand why people behave the way they do. That's part of my training, but it's also part of my personal experience, is that we've been taught that Caucasians are superior. It's not true. They're just another group of people. And actually, they come from us. We didn't come from them. You cannot get color from a lack of color, but you can get a lack of color from color. And in particular, Black people were the first people on the planet. So we need to understand that I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that we need to be focused on being strong Black people, because right now that's not what's happening. We're being encouraged, pushed to add more cream to our coffee. And I say, let's stick with the cream. Let's build up our self-esteem. Let's learn our history. Let's love ourselves, and let's go after those fine Black men. And for the Black men to go after those fine Black women who happen to look like the Olmecs, OLMECS, and stop believing that the only standard of beauty is light skin, thin lips, pointed noses, and straight hair. That is not the definition universally of beauty. Because when you look at, when I went to Belize and I was looking at, Mexico, when I was looking at the Olmecs there, some of the guides would tell me how the ancients would put boards on their noses to look like the Olmecs, because the first people in Mexico, in Belize, in the United States were Black. There are over 100 pyramids up and down the Mississippi River, with one of the biggest that they found right across from St. Louis. So we need to know our history. We need to know our greatness, and how Black skin, Black, is strong. It's beautiful. Tight curled hair is awesome. It receives information from the environment. And as a result, the more melanin you have, the more protected you are. See, light-skinned people are going to die because the ozone layer is being depleted. So light-skinned people aren't going to survive when the ozone layer is depleted. I'm going to stop there because I can go on.
No, I want you to go on. We want you to go on. Didn't I tell you at the beginning? I said, I am so ready for all of these pearls that you are going to share with us, all of this information. I'm welcoming every single bit that you are sharing with us. And I'm digesting it all. I'm digesting. At this moment, though, unfortunately, we're going to take a break, just a short break, okay? Because we need to get back to some of this good information that we're receiving from Dr. Gooden. Stay with us, because we will be right back.
Theater Exile will end its 26th anniversary season with the world premiere of Abandoned by Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright James Iams, writer of Fat Ham, currently on Broadway. In Abandoned, two lonely souls meet on a cold night. By the next morning, they are meshed together in an American family in the truest sense. Abandoned is on stage April 27th through May 21st at Theater Exile in South Philadelphia. For tickets and to learn more, theaterexile.org.
Yo, this is King Earner coming to you guys live and direct. If you're looking for a home care agency with honor, then Good Brothers Home Care fits the bill. And besides the honor, Good Brothers have great pay, benefits, and experienced caregivers. So if you're in the need of home care services or would like to transfer to an agency, contact us at 215-874-9300. That's 215-874-9300, or hit us up on the web at goodbrothershomecare.com.
Which mayoral candidate will make sure that Black Philadelphia is included in high-tech, high-wage job growth? Who will unlock access to venture capital for Black innovators? Which candidate knows how to educate our children and prepare them for careers of the future? Hear from the candidates on these topics at WURD's Mayoral Candidate Forum, Inclusion, Innovation, and Philadelphia's Future. This event takes place Tuesday, May 9th at 6 p.m. during Philly Tech Week. Join us at the University City Science Center at 3675 Market Street. To register, go to wordradio.com/Tech Week. This event is part of Every Voice, Every Vote, brought to you in partnership with Philly Tech Week, Technically Philly, and the University City Science Center. Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes time. But vision with action can change the world. These are the words of Joel Arthur Barker, and my prayer and hope for Philadelphia, a city I was born in, educated, lived, and work in, will collectively come together to help its citizens by bringing economic prosperity to those in need, create safe and affordable housing for the disenfranchised, and create safe and organic spaces for adults and children to grow. I am Kimberly Lloyd.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back, family. You're tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I know we're coming on the close to our show, so I want to be sure to try to get a few things in. I want to acknowledge some of our family members who have joined us: Mark, Pena, Nasir, Lily, everyone who is leaving us comments, Rowena. Everyone is thanking you so much, Dr. Gooden, for the knowledge that you are sharing, for the education you are giving us. I want to take our caller really short, a really short call. I believe one of our family members has been waiting to talk with us. Are you still there?
Yes. Hi. So really my first couple times listening, I would listen to another show, but I guess we're inviting you into the WURD family.
Oh.
Dr. Gooden, I think that what you're teaching is so amazing, and like you really need to give a class, because the things that you're saying really need to hit people like in their 30s and 40s, like in my generation, because I still have people, I'm lighter skinned, and a lot of women are going for white men, and people don't really see the value anymore in Black men because of, like, if you're a high earner, like I am, like a lot of women are high earners, there's a really divide there. And then a lot of the people that I know have married white men. And then also a lot of people are also, this race thing still goes on. I had someone say to me, you don't know how lucky you are to be of lighter skin. And I'm like, no, that's not true. She's dark skinned. And she said, well, because the things that happened to me, but regardless of when you're in a corporate environment, whatever skin you are of Black skin, you're treated the same way. But it's just this divide. And we're good friends now, and I would talk to her, and encourage her and tell her how beautiful she is. And like, so it's like these things need to hit like the younger generations as well, because this stuff is still going on. You have no idea. And it's like in the corporate world, no matter where you go, this thing, I mean, I've had, men will say, well, I like them light and bright. This is still going on now. And so I think you are dropping jewels. I told my friends to listen in. And so I just appreciate this. And I just wish you could give a class about this and people could really hear this so they can know that we have to pour into each other. But I also would like you to talk about, Carol, about how women, and maybe have Dr. Gooden on again, because you said you want to know what people want to talk about women of higher earning statuses in the world and what is going on now. And then I'll listen. Okay, bye.
Oh, I can't thank you enough for everything you just said. And thank you for that suggestion, because I think that is a great conversation. I am hoping and praying that you will come back and visit with us, Dr. Good. And I really, really am, because I am so enjoying our conversation, and our other family members are as well. I want to make sure our family members know how to reach you in the event they seek to do so. Would you mind sharing with us?
Absolutely. They can reach me at Dr. AYO, DOCTORAYO at Black Love Partners. Was that at Gmail? I don't know.
Is it, was it at .com? Was it .com? Was it at the website?
Yes, at gmail.com. Sorry.
Okay, at gmail.com. Okay. Right.
I missed that part. I told you I was 71. So, we didn't have this stuff when I was growing up. We didn't have computers when I was growing up. So I'm learning. I'm a bastard.
No. We are learning from you, all of this new stuff. So would you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry, Doctor.
Okay, Dr. AYO.
Okay.
At Black Love Partners at gmail.com. I believe that's accurate. If it's not, I'll correct it and send it to you.
Okay. I believe it's Dr. Because I think I looked, it was Dr. AYO at blacklovepartners.com. I think
that sounds good to me.
Okay.
And if you have to throw in a Gmail, then that would be the other part to add.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, family members. What I'm going to do is I'm putting it in the chat so that you can see it. It is Dr. DOCTORAYO at blacklovepartners.com. That is the website. But what I will do, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at loveandlife@wordradio.com, and I will make sure you receive all of the information that you request. I want to make sure we have all of this information. And Dr. Gooden, how do we get a copy of your book? From where can we acquire it?
Well, I always recommend go to the Black bookstores and ask for it, like mediabooks.com, blackandnoble.com.
I was in there today.
I'm sorry. And you can also get the Agerzil there. You can, Amazon has my book. There are a number of places where you can get it.
Okay.
Let me know you want it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to buy it. I was in the Black and Noble bookstore today. That was why I was saying to you, I believe I bought the second book that you mentioned.
My son's book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sisters Out.
So yes. I was just in there, and I will be returning because I told them there were some other things that I want to acquire. In any event, I'm sorry, family members, I digress. So Dr. Gooden's book is titled "A Single Bracelet Does Not Jingle." And she just told us some of the places where it can be acquired. If you did not catch that, don't forget, you can always email me at loveandlife@wordradio.com, and I will make sure you have that information. Also, help me out, family. Let's see. I want to make sure. Okay, I did put in the chat the Agerzil. I put the website in the chat for that because I'm trying to make sure I give you all of this information. Dr. Gooden, we just love you to pieces. I'm trying to tell you because so many of our family members are just.
Let me tell you, I do this because I love Black people. And I am on a mission. This has been my purpose, to make a difference, to pass on my blessings to others. And I feel very blessed to be married and to be happily married. And I want everybody to be happy individually and in a wonderful relationship. So that's a piece of what my book does. That's what Black Love Partners will do for you. That's what therapy can do with the right therapist. And I tell people, not just a therapist, get a Black therapist who is African-centered, who's going to help you to understand how society impacts you and help you to grow beyond the limitations that society constantly puts on us.
Is there somewhere that if a person is seeking therapy from a Black therapist, is there somewhere specific to search? I don't know.
Yes. The Association of Black Psychologists. I'm the immediate past president for the Delaware Valley Association of Black Psychologists, and I will put that in the chat here.
Oh, thank you. And I will share that with you, family members. I want to make sure I'm trying to get all of this information. Dr. Gooden, I'm so hoping that you will come, like I said, again, to share some more knowledge with us. Come and check in with us. And family, I'm going to see you on Black Love Partners. I'm sure I'm going to see a few of you because I'm going to be on there. I have some work to do. I definitely have some work to do on me. And I acknowledge that and recognize that. And so I'll see you there. I'm sure I will. Dr. Gooden, before we go, because there's so many points on which to touch. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us with before we close the show?
I would like to leave you with, no matter what you look like, you're beautiful, whether you're light or dark. Curly hair, straight hair, crinkly hair, whatever it is, full lips, thin lips, pointed nose, or broad nose. And that you need to have Black images on your walls at home so that your children can see their beauty and read to them or take them to see movies that embrace our Blackness. And of course, learn for yourself, because you can't teach someone else if you don't know yourself. But remember, you are created in the image of the Creator.
We love you, Dr. Gooden. Thank you so much for that information. Family, as we begin to wrap up tonight's episode, I personally extend my utmost gratitude to you as you continue to support Love and Life. I thank you to each and every one of our callers tonight, to Tyrone, Fred, Ron, Viola, Lola, Carl, I believe it was. We spoke with so many family members tonight. I can't thank you enough for sharing your love, for Tequila, Mark, Rowena, Phyllis, Joanne, Nasir, Joey. Just know that we appreciate you. Phyllis, I'm not sure if I mentioned. Craig as well. Special thanks to Dr. Ayo Maria Casey Gooden for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, and your knowledge with us. Thank you also to the entire WURD family, and special thanks to you, Miss Kayla J, for always making sure that everything runs smoothly. You are so appreciated. Family, you know it's coming because I say this to you every single episode. We are all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. I also want to, before we close, just send prayers to Atlanta and to the families of the situation that is taking place in Atlanta, or that took place in Atlanta. It is ongoing because it has not yet been resolved. But be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a great night, everybody.
Hi, I'm Kira Bradford Gray, and I'm here to stress the importance